So I guess I have to do that a different way. What's going on? Make sure we get the Discord. Lemon, you're on my foot. Copy. All right, let's see. I think that should be. All right. So I guess the first thing I want to mention here is fear-mongering. We have a lot of that going on, and we've had a lot of that going on about various things. Politics, religion, crimes, all kinds of stuff. I found it mildly interesting that the Merriam-Webster dictionary simply put the definition of fearmonger as a scaremonger. Not sure why, but I don't know. You would think they could put a little bit of a definition, but I guess that'll have to do. Usually it's people trying to cause panic or fear or whatever, and what they're saying might not be true. I think part of that caused our great toilet paper shortage that we have going on right now. And it's not that we really have a shortage of toilet paper. It's that we have people stockpiling toilet paper. So the reason why people are panicking is because of this, right? So we were given this link at our work. I actually looked it up then when I got home and found the link. John Hopkins University, they have this tracking site that I have found to be pretty helpful in just comparison. So, for instance, if you look at the U.S. numbers, we have total confirmed cases. Now, mind you, these are confirmed cases, right? 7,769. There's been 118 reported deaths, and so far 106 reported recovered people that have had it. You can move this map around, and you can zoom in down to, they actually, when we first started looking at this, they actually would put little red dots everywhere in the states where confirmed cases had been. Then they realized it was probably just better off to put one dot in the state and then update that one dot. So for instance, here in Missouri, we now have 18 confirmed cases. This says no deaths, but we actually had a press conference before I left work, probably an hour and a half or so ago, that we do have our first death. So I'm sure this will be updated at some point in the near future. The thing that I have been using this for is just to see how fast we're moving up on this. See, if you look down here at the bottom, you can see where we're curving up. right? So ideally, you want to be at the flat line here. See China, they went up, and then they kind of flatlined out. Well, we started, and now we're on this large climb. It was interesting to me that Friday, before I left work, this US number here was 860 something, I do believe. And this is how fast it's ramped up. As a matter of fact, I don't know that this 18 actually encompasses the amount that we just got updated by. And Illinois, they jumped just today. We had a report from the news that they jumped 128 cases. So although I think that, it's valid that people are concerned, and obviously they've been telling us that social distancing is largely important, I think that this panic buying, I don't really understand it. So we still can't get toilet paper in the stores here. My husband tends to buy our groceries at Walmart, and we do some bulk shopping at Sam's every so often. And like, you can't get a paper product to save your life. He actually bought the last pack of paper plates. Why are people stocking up on paper plates? I really don't. I don't know what's going on with that. However, we buy our toilet paper in bulk anyway. So the fact that I don't know when the next time we're going to have, toilet paper stocked on the shelves to be able to buy before like everybody, first person runs in and hoards it all, is going to be. I did actually tell my husband when he went to Sam's to look for baby wipes, if they had baby wipes, to pick those up, paper towels, anything of the sort, just because you don't know. People are acting all kinds of crazy. And as a matter of fact, I asked him to pick up cottage cheese. I get cottage cheese quite often, and they didn't have any cottage cheese. Who in the heck is hoarding cottage cheese? Really? I actually heard, people aren't able to buy rice. The store's out of rice, out of noodles. I mean, come on. What is going on with that? And the thing that I am a bit aggravated about is it seems that they're being selfish, right? So there's two reasons why they're hoarding so much, right? One is they want to profit from it. And two is they're so afraid that they're going to be left without. Mama, the president just said he expects the numbers to climb exponentially in the next 4 days. Well, you and I have been tracking this, and look how much ours has jumped. Almost 7,000. I mean, it's been almost 7,000 just since last Friday night or evening, right? It started out, it was like 300 Saturday, like 300 Sunday, and then boom, it's just exploding. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I hear that there are places that don't have, there's people that think they have it, they don't have enough tests. I know that here, our mayor said that we were going to be getting more tests because we didn't have enough. So one of the things I also, since just in case people who live here locally, plus, everybody's different, and I don't think that we know unless somebody's sharing with us what's going on in different areas. But I'm going to take this straight from our news, one of our news stations here. So obviously the spread of coronavirus has led to the temporary closure of several events and attractions across the St. Louis metro area. I wonder when this article was updated. Oh, that was yesterday. Social gatherings of more than 50 people are prohibited for 8 weeks in St. Louis City, St. Louis County, St. Charles County, St. Clair County, Illinois, and Madison County, Illinois. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker has ordered all bars and restaurants to close Monday and remain closed through March 30th. Now, here in the St. Louis area, they have to go to carry out only by midnight Thursday. This says curbside pickup and drive-through was to be allowed in Missouri. The Missouri Department of Conservation will close all nature centers and visitor centers on Thursday. Here's a list of which facilities will close: Burr Oaks Woods Nature Center in Blue Springs, Cape Girardeau Conservation Nature Center in Cape Girardeau, Anita B. Gorman Conservation Discovery Center in Kansas City, Lost Valley Fish Hatchery in Benton County, Powder Valley Conservation Nature Center in Kirkwood, Rockwoods Reservation in St. Louis County, Runge Conservation Nature Center in Jefferson City, Shepherd of the Hills Fish Hatchery near Branson, Shoal Creek Conservation Education Center in Joplin, Springfield Conservation Center in Springfield, and Twin Pines Conservation Education Center near Winona. Officials said the Cinco de Mayo Festival on Cherokee Street will not take place on Saturday, May 2nd. The St. Louis Symphony Orchestra has postponed or canceled all performances through April 12th. Cardinals Nation at Ballpark Village has closed its museum and authentics shop along with its restaurant. Performances and tours at the Fabulous Fox have been postponed through April 30th. All boys and girls clubs of Greater St. Louis locations will be closed to youth and staff until further notice. Officials with the St. Louis Aquarium at Union Station announced the aquarium will temporarily close until March 31st. The city of Clayton has canceled all parks and recreation programs through March 22nd. The programs include the following activities: youth baseball, softball league practices, spring break camps, and Shaw Park field rentals. Six Flags St. Louis announced they will suspend operations until the end of March and then reevaluate the situation at month's end. HealthWorks Kids Museum will close to the public at 4:30 p.m. Saturday and remain closed through at least March 30th. The Moolah Shriners Circus at the Family Arena will plan to reschedule the circus for later this year. The XFL has canceled all its regular season games. All players will be paid, and benefits for the rest of the 2020 season. The St. Louis Ambush soccer season is over. The Major Arena Soccer League announced Thursday that it's ending its season due to worries over COVID-19. Chaffetz Arena has announced it has canceled. It has canceled, not has, is canceling, I would think, all events through April 30th. I guess said Arena Management. I don't know what they did there. Somebody didn't edit that properly. The Fox Theater is canceling all events until March 31st. The NCAA announced it's canceling the men's and women's basketball tournament. The Science Center. The riverboats at the Gateway Arch are temporarily suspending operations. The St. Louis Zoo. St. Louis Circuit Court has canceled all jury trials until April 13th. The Art Museum in Forest Park is closed until further notice. The Missouri History Museum will be closed until May 9th. All branches of the St. Louis County, St. Charles City, and St. Charles County libraries are closing. St. Louis County branches will be closed Tuesday until April 3rd. The St. Charles City and County branches will be closed until April 5th. Missouri Botanical Garden, Butterfly House, and Shaw Nature Reserve closed until April 3rd. The Archdiocese of St. Louis suspended all public masses Monday night, announcing they plan to keep the suspension until April 6th. The decisions to continue with baptisms, weddings, and funerals will be made at the parish level, with the understanding that the celebration of these sacraments are to include only immediate family members. The Cathedral Basilica of St. Louis offers live-streamed and televised options for Holy Mass, as does EWTN. The Maryland Heights Community Center will be closed for at least 2 weeks. Farmington Civic Center, Public Library, and Oaks Senior Center Gateway Arch temporarily suspending tram rides to the top beginning March 17th. The Gateway Arch and Old Courthouse will close March 18th until further notice. The one thing I didn't see on here is that they're going to be closing all the casinos in Missouri, because that was in a press conference, so they didn't update that. Which I'm not sure why they didn't add that to that. We have okay, so I have not read this article. This just popped up before I went live. The latest, St. Louis County identifies 5th case of COVID-19, bans gatherings of 10 plus people. Below is the latest on the impact of the coronavirus in Missouri and Metro East. Wednesday, March 18th, 5:30 p.m. The St. Louis County officials announced Wednesday evening they have identified another positive case of COVID-19. They had 32 negative tests. The confirmed case Wednesday is a 30 to 40-year-old, and it is travel related. The nature of the travel, whether domestic or international, is still under investigation. The county has 5 positive cases, and Missouri's total now stands at 19. Shortly after the announcement, St. Louis County Executive Sam Page said he signed an executive order banning group gatherings of 10 people or more. People who plan gatherings of 9 people are required to take extra measures to minimize any close contact and further exposure, according to the executive order. 4:40 p.m. today. Now, mind you, we are in Central Time Zone, so these times are Central. Washington University announced Wednesday afternoon 2 of their physicians have tested positive for the novel coronavirus. One lives in St. Louis City and the other resides in St. Louis County. They are not currently working with patients and are in quarantine. It is unclear at this time if these are new cases or just information on patients who have already tested positive. Additionally, 2 undergrad students have also tested positive for COVID-19. The 2 students had recently traveled to the U.S. from Denmark, but did not return to campus. 4:35 p.m. The Illinois Commerce Commission voted unanimously to cease disconnections of and the threat of disconnections of Illinois electric, natural gas, water, and wastewater utilities during the public health emergency. The order also calls on the utilities to suspend late payment fees until May 1st or the crisis has passed, and to implement flexible utility credit and collection procedures to ensure customers remain connected to essential utility services when the emergency status ends. 4:30, University of Missouri-Columbia officials are asking students to move out of university housing. This is a difficult decision for us, said Vice Provost for Student Affairs, William B. Stackman. However, encouraging you to leave campus is the best way residential life can support your family and well-being of that community. 4:25, Webster University announced it will carry online-only classes through the end of its spring semester as a precaution amid coronavirus concerns. At 3:35 today, in a press conference Wednesday, Columbia, Missouri's mayor announced the patient who tested positive Tuesday for the novel coronavirus has died. The 6 emergency responders who cared for the patient have all been quarantined. The patient was in their 60s and contracted the virus through travel. At 3:30, the St. Clair County Health Department said a 3rd person tested presumptive positive for COVID-19 in the county. Officials said the man is in his 50s, but didn't say if the case is related to travel or not. 3:00 p.m., Jefferson County became the latest county to ban dine-in services at restaurants and bars. The restriction begins March 20th and is effective for 15 days. 2:50 p.m., Mayor Linda Crewson announced Wednesday the city is limiting gatherings to no more than 10 people in compliance with the federal recommendations. That restriction will go into effect Friday when the restrictions on bars and restaurants also begins. The courts are closed and many government employees will work remotely, but the city will still be staffed for essential services. 2:40 p.m., The St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department said officers will limit their in-person responses to certain non-emergency incidents, like larcenies, destruction of property, missing persons, thefts, or car break-ins. The department said officers will not respond in person if these crimes are not in progress and if there is no apparent suspects to pursue. The department said people who witness these crimes can still call police at the non-emergency line at 314-231-1212. Officers will respond to violent crimes and incidents in progress, but people will be asked additional questions before a supervisor decides to send an officer to a scene. At 2:30, Illinois officials announced 128 cases on Wednesday, bringing the total of confirmed COVID-19 cases to 288 in 17 counties across Illinois. There are now 3 cases in St. Clair County, 3 in Clinton County, and 1 in Madison County in the News 4 viewing area. Officials said the novel coronavirus has hit patients 9 to 91. 2:30 p.m., Warren County officials announced all restaurants, coffee houses, bars, clubs must close to the public beginning March 19th. Food establishments can still offer drive-through, delivery, and pickup services. At 1:55, the St. Louis Fire Department is closing its facilities to the public. The department announced Wednesday that permits can be found online, completed, and mailed. Fire inspections have ceased, and unsafe building conditions can be called in or reported online. STL Fire Department says they are fully staffed. The closure is in effect until further notice. At 12:45 p.m. See, all of this is just this lunch. I haven't even heard half of this. Missouri Governor Mike Parson said in the coming days the state will have the ability to test 7,000 to 10,000 patients thanks to the University of Missouri and Washington University developing their own tests for COVID-19. Because of this, he said residents should expect the number of confirmed cases to rise across Missouri. At 11 a.m., Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker was in the Metro East Wednesday morning for his daily briefing on COVID-19. While there were no new cases reported to the state, Pritzker did provide some clarity on why he activated the National Guard, which then later they had 128 new cases, so that's probably a good idea. The governor said he activated 60 guardsmen of the estimated 1,300. He said they are considering using them in a variety of missions. One thing they will begin doing is delivering meals to students who are on free or reduced lunch and are now not getting meals at school. He said they considered using the National Guard as election judges for Tuesday's primary, but did not do it. I know, that's why it sounded so bad when he said it. Yeah. The state is also looking into the possibility of using tents to separate patients with respiratory problems from those going to hospitals for other issues. The guardsmen could help in putting together those tents. These numbers will get much worse before they get better, Pritzker said, which then they had 128 new reported cases. So that's obviously the truth there. 10:33 a.m. this morning, St. Louis City recorded its second confirmed case of COVID-19. Wednesday, Mayor Linda Krewson tweeted that this case, which was confirmed Tuesday night, comes with a threat of community exposure. Mayor Krewson said the individual continued to go to work in the city while exhibiting symptoms. There is no immediate sign of community transmission, Krewson said. At 10:11 this morning, Missouri's municipal election scheduled for April 7th will be postponed until June 2nd, 2020. Missouri Governor Mike Parson announced the order Wednesday morning. The executive order states the closing date to register to vote in this election remains March 11th. The deadline for filing as a write-in candidate for the office remains March 27th at 5 p.m. The deadline to apply for an absentee ballot, Section 115.279 RSMO, shall be May 20th. A public test of voting equipment shall be completed no later than June 1st. In-person absentee ballots may be cast until 5 p.m. on June 1st, which reminds me I need to tell my son that. The deadline by which absentee ballots must be received by the election authority, Section 115.293.1 RS Missouri, shall be 7 p.m. on June 2nd. Military and overseas voters must request a ballot from an election authority by 5 p.m. on May 29th, and the deadline for local election authorities to make ballots available to such voters is April 18th. Military and overseas ballots must be received by the election authority by June 5th. Local election authorities are also directed to post information on their website, use social media if available, issue press release, conduct public appearances, and directly contact stakeholders such as candidates. At 5:45 a.m., Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker has activated the National Guard to help the state fight the coronavirus outbreak. On Tuesday, Illinois recorded its first COVID-19 related death. Pritzker will talk Wednesday morning about the number of cases growing by the day. In the last few days, 3 positive cases have been confirmed in the Metro East. The latest is a man in his 30s from Madison County. He recently traveled and has been self-quarantined after returning home from Europe. Then a few days ago, 2 women in St. Clair County tested positive for COVID-19. One woman is in her 60s and the other in her 70s. Both women traveled abroad and are also quarantined. As of Wednesday morning, Illinois has 160 positive cases and 1,500 tests and 1 death. In Missouri, there are 15 positive cases of 266 tested. That doesn't seem to be very many tested. For more information on the virus and safety guideline, visit the CDC's website at cdc.gov/coronavirus. The St. Louis County Health Line is 314-615-2660, or visit the county's website at stlcorona.com to learn more. 9 p.m. last night, Mercy officials said they had the busiest day yet of COVID-19 tests at the Chesterfield drive-through testing site. A total of 90 people were tested on Tuesday compared to 52 on Monday. I guess that was a bit of a marked increase. Okay, so that's just one day of what's been going on. So I'm going to see if there's any other let's see. Oh, here, this looks like a good one. List of St. Louis area restaurants offering carryout during coronavirus dine-in shutdown. That might be helpful. St. Louis, Missouri needs something to eat. St. Louis regional restaurants are temporarily shutting down dine-in service because of the coronavirus outbreak, but there are plenty of area restaurants that have delivery and options to pick up orders. Check out this list of a few of the available options to choose from. See the form below to add your restaurant to the list. Balkan Treat Box. Chow Ban. I've never heard of these places. Clementine's Naughty and Nice Creamery. They're on Grubhub, it looks like. Eckert's, the Belleville restaurant, carry out and country store is open for grocery. Oh, that's good to know. Indu, carry out is coming soon. Caldi's online ordering, home delivery for bags of coffee, carry out curbside delivery from cafes via Postmates. King and I, Mission Taco Joint, Retreat Gastropub, Yellow Belly, I Fratelli, Lion's Choice, they're with DoorDash. Lola's Jeans, Nathaniel Reed Bakery, Russell's, Chesterfield, Fenton, and Macklin. Shafley is carry-out and curbside. Additional promotions, Barley Ferret, what the heck? Limited menu, interesting. Lion's Choice, Shafley. Well, that's not a very big list. I would guess that list is going to grow. And I just closed that out, and I didn't want to do that. Let's see. I did see this, and I haven't been able to read this, so I guess we'll read this here. You can get my cold reaction to it. Trump invokes emergency authority. Oh, no, no, no. Big three automakers closing. Minneapolis President Donald Trump on Wednesday moved to invoke a federal law that allows the government to marshal the private sector to deal with the coronavirus epidemic as the economic damage mounted, with word that Detroit's big three automakers agree to shut down all their factories to protect workers. On a day of head-spinning developments, stocks tumbled again on Wall Street, falling so fast they triggered another automatic trading halt. More borders slammed shut across Europe and North America, with the U.S. and Canada agreeing to close their shared boundary to all but essential travel. And the Trump administration pressed Congress to swiftly pass a potentially $1 trillion rescue package to prop up the economy and speed relief checks to Americans in a matter of weeks. Calling himself a wartime president, Trump said he would sign the Defense Production Act in case we need it, as the government bolsters resources for an expected surge in cases of the virus. With a growing number of Americans thrown out of work by near shutdown of much of the U.S. economy, he also said the Housing and Urban Development Department will suspend foreclosures and evictions from public housing through April. Two people briefed on the matter said Wednesday that Ford, General Motors, and Fiat Chrysler agreed to close all their factories. The two spoke on condition of anonymity because the closings had not been announced. The move would idle about 150,000 workers who are likely to receive supplemental pay in addition to unemployment benefits. Meanwhile, across the European continent, desperate travelers choked on border crossings after countries began shutting the doors against the coronavirus, which has now infected more than 200,000 people worldwide and killed over 8,000. And the Trump administration was said to be considering a plan to turn back all people who cross into the United States illegally from Mexico. Some bright spots emerged. Wuhan, the central Chinese city where the virus was first detected in late December and which has been under lockdown for weeks, reported just one new case for a second straight day on Wednesday. But in a grim illustration of the epidemic's shifting center of gravity, the death toll in Italy moved closer to overtaking China's. Italy had more than 2,500 dead and was averaging about 350 a day. China's toll was just over 3,200. Meanwhile, the United Nations International Labor Organization estimated that the crisis could cause nearly 25 million job losses and drain up to $3.4 trillion in income by year's end, but that a coordinated global response in the form of fiscal stimulus and other measures could help reduce the toll. In releasing the new global infection figures, Johns Hopkins University said more than 82,000 people have recovered from the virus, which causes only mild or moderate symptoms such as fever and cough in most cases, though severe illness is more likely in the elderly and those with existing health problems. Still, scientists have no doubt the true number of people infected is higher than the 200,000 reported by health authorities because of the possibility that many mild cases have gone unrecognized or unreported, and because of the lag in large-scale testing in the U.S., where the effort has been marked by bumbling and bureaucratic delay. The U.S. reported more than 6,500 cases and at least 116 deaths, almost half of them in Washington state, where dozens of residents from a suburban Seattle nursing home have died. In the first ever breakdown of its kind in the U.S., the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reported that coronavirus deaths in the United States mirror what has been reported in other countries, with about 4 out of 5 deaths occurring in people 65 and older and no deaths in children. The CDC looked at more than 4,200 cases reported through Monday. The coronavirus is present in all 50 states after West Virginia reported an infection. In far-flung Hawaii, the governor encouraged travelers to postpone their island vacations while Nevada ordered its casinos closed. New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio warned that residents should be prepared for the possibility of a shelter-in-place order within days, a near lockdown like the one covering almost 7 million people in the San Francisco Bay Area. In the most sweeping measure of its kind in the U.S., they are allowed to leave their homes only for food, medicine, or exercise. The Trump administration's plan for in issuing relief checks to Americans calls for the payment of $500 billion in 2 installments in April and May. The amounts have yet to be decided, but would be based on income and family size. Across the continent, European leaders closed borders to non-essential traffic while leaving many frontiers open to cross-border workers and trucks carrying critical goods like food and medicine. That led to monumental traffic jams. To alleviate some of the pressure from Eastern Europeans struck in Austria and trying to return home, Hungary opened its borders in phases. Bulgarian citizens were first allowed to cross in carefully controlled convoys. Then Romanians had a turn. Serbians were also allowed to pass through. But at one point early on the Austrian side, trucks were backed up for 28 kilometers, which equals 17 miles, and cars for 14 kilometers, nearly 9 miles. Thousands of trucks were backed up in Lithuania on roads to Poland. Traffic was similarly jammed along Germany's border with Poland. The European Union said it was trying to help about 80,000 citizens stuck outside Europe get home, but that it faced huge challenges, including finding flights. In Southeast Asia, the causeway between Malaysia and the financial hub of Singapore was eerily quiet, and after Malaysia shut its borders while the Philippines backed down on an order giving foreigners 72 hours to leave from a large part of its mainland. Taiwan said that it too would ban foreigners from entry and citizens would have to quarantine at home for 14 days. Even tourists on Ecuador's Galapagos Islands, 1,000 kilometers or 620 miles off the South American mainland, have been affected. Canadian Jessie Lamontagne and her family were stuck there when flights were suspended. I was in tears this morning, Lamontagne said. I couldn't get any answers from the airline. I had no money and didn't know whether I was going to keep my job. There's just a lot going on. And it seems to just be changing momentarily. I swear something just popped up on my screen. I don't know what it was. On my phone. Florida representative becomes first member of Congress to test positive for coronavirus. It looks like 24 minutes ago, Governor Mike Parson gave another update. So I guess I'm going to have to check that out. Interesting. Okay. Let's see if this updated yet. No. Let's see what this page has. 2 local businesses team up to make hand sanitizer and give it away for free. Well, isn't this interesting? St. Louis, KMOV.com. Local businesses are getting creative to help fight the novel coronavirus. A distillery and a soap maker are filling a major sanitation void for people in St. Louis by making hand sanitizer and giving it away for free to those who need it the most. Nick Colombo owns Switchgrass Spirits, a new distillery in St. Louis, and they specialize in whiskey and brandy. Oh, I think I heard about this. They just started selling their first product about a month ago. Turns out Switchgrass Spirits have the missing ingredient a local soap maker needed to make hand sanitizer. B Naturals is a local company that manufactures soaps and other body products. They have the means to make hand sanitizer, but we're having a hard time finding germ-killing alcohol to make it. We were sick of it, wanted to do our part to make sure everyone has hand sanitizer, Colombo said. I promised to give her as many gallons of free alcohol as she could make hand sanitizer with. It was a no-brainer for Colombo to just give it away, as the high-proof alcohol is removed in their distilling process anyway. Other distilleries make cleaner out of it and antifreeze. Good distilleries don't have it in their products, Colombo said. Well, that's pretty nice of them. I think that's a very good idea. Let's see. So obviously all of our schools are closed, which that wasn't listed on that list either. Yeah, I don't see anything else, but oh, it looks like Schnucks is hiring. If anybody needs a job, Schnucks is hiring amid coronavirus business spike. I would say it might only be temporary though. We talked about the border. Schnucks, Deerbergs, and Target are offering exclusive shopping times for people 60 plus. There's actually quite a few of them, so I highly recommend anybody over 60 to check the stores that you normally shop and see if they do have times, because that would be a smart time to go. Control tower at Chicago Airport closed after 3 technicians test positive for coronavirus. The Federal Aviation Administration said it was temporarily closing the air traffic control tower at Chicago's Midway Airport after several technicians tested positive for coronavirus. Yeah. Also, all of our 24-hour stores have gone to pretty much closing at 11 p.m. and opening back up at 6 a.m. So, just a whole lot of craziness. One thing I would like to encourage people to do is to quit stockpiling more than normal. Like when you go to the store, hey, I don't think Applebee's was on the list of carry-out restaurants. No, I don't think it was. Actually, it looked like a lot of the main, like Applebee's. I'm quite sure places like Fitz's will probably have carry-out. Filoni's, I know Filoni's here in the city. There's a bunch of like mom and pop places here in the city. They're all gonna adjust. Even places like Granger, where you buy parts, they're having people drive up and order their stuff, and then the people are running and getting their stuff. I mean, people are adapting. We're our work has been scrambling, trying to, I think, make the possibility of working at home more viable. We're pretty close to there, I think. I think we're getting pretty close to at least probably enough for the social distancing. I would imagine by the end of the week. We'll see how that plays out. I really just want people to quit panicking and buying up everything. Like, seriously, how are you going to feel if you buy up all of something and your neighbor needs it and they can't? I mean, everybody needs food. In the building we work in, there's a DHL, right? So they do deliveries, kind of like UPS and the post office and stuff. And a guy he said something really good. If the trucks weren't moving, then it would be time to be concerned. But if you're going out on the highway and you see tractor trailers moving, products getting moved across the country, so people shouldn't be panic buying. Not only that, I think part of the problem with the panic buying, besides the fact that the shelves are empty, which causes other people to panic, it causes the stores to be scrambling to keep up. And then they scramble and they keep up, and then they're going to end up with this huge amount of stuff that at some point the buying is going to stop because people are going to realize that, oh my gosh, we're panic buying. We don't need to be panic buying. And they're going to be stuck. They're going to be throwing food out and everything else. So that's going to cause a whole nother problem. Just buy what you normally buy when you go to the store. If you're somebody who is compromised or who is sick, like, have it delivered, have them set it on your front porch, and be done with it. You don't have to order everything on the planet. I mean, you can't even order toilet paper online and expect it's going to be delivered at any time. I don't get it. Why is everybody hoarding toilet paper? And then, of course, toilet paper disappeared, then the paper towels disappeared, and the cleaning wipes disappeared, and the sanitizer's gone. And I mean, come on. You are only one person. You can, I sit at my desk all day long. Every time I go to the bathroom, I wash my hands, I leave, I go down the hall, I come into the office, I sit down at my desk, I sanitize my hands. I sanitize my hands, a lot during the day, just because I'm shuffling papers that other people are touching, and I might sneeze or cough or, blow my nose. And yet I don't go through that much sanitizer. I go through maybe 2, maybe 3 bottles of it a year just sitting at my desk. You don't need a ton of hand sanitizer. Let everybody get some of everything. It'd be a whole lot nicer. Just everybody, please stop and think and be kind to everybody else. I mean, one of my coworkers was telling me in, I don't remember what store she said, but somebody found, I guess somebody had left their wallet in a shopping cart, and this person saw it, and this person had 2 cases of bottled water in their cart. Well, they were worried about the person leaving their wallet, so they grabbed the wallet and they went running to the person, and they gave them their wallet, and by the time they came back, somebody had snatched up the water out of their shopping cart. Really? Really? You don't think karma's going to come back and bite you in the behind? Seriously. No, don't be doing that stuff. It's not nice, and you wouldn't want people doing it to you. You know? Um, just, be nice. Think about other people. Um, I just, I don't know. I'm buying extra stuff so that should somebody run out of something, I can help them out. I mean, I don't want to hoard it all. Why would you want to do that? It's not nice, and it's not the right thing to do. Um, Sorry, I was updating something. Um, uh, there's just no need for it. Uh, yes, the cases are going to go up. Yes, a lot of people are going to get it. Yes, there's going to be people that die from it. And yes, it's smart for you to wash your hands. And as our governor has said, it's very important. The social distancing right now is very important to slow down the spread, because the biggest problem we could run into is having too many cases at once and overloading the hospitals and the doctors and the nurses. Um, and, that's what we don't want to do. We can't stop people from getting it and getting sick, but we can certainly slow it down so that it's easier for them to be able to test and treat the people who end up getting it. Did I miss anything, Eminem Mama? Because I think if I keep going too long, I think I'm going to get myself wrapped up in a tizzy again, because I really don't understand these stupid people buying up all of everything, and especially the ones trying to uh, make a fast buck on the fact that they're hoarding it so nobody else has any, and then people, are freaked out because they can't get it. And yeah, that's totally not okay. We need to act like decent human beings, because that's what we're supposed to be, not, you know, be so selfish. All right. Well, on that note, I if I don't do any game streaming tomorrow, I will be doing game streaming on Friday, short of something happening. It it looks like, it is possible that at least some of us at work will be working from home at some point. No, you can jump off the soapbox now. Did I go too crazy? So, I mean, everybody's got to play it by ear, but if I get quarantined or locked down in my house, I am certainly prepared. So, not a big deal. I wish everybody would be kind to everybody else. Quit panic buying. Buy what you normally buy. If you stock up for a month and you go to the grocery store once a month and buy everything you need, then continue to do that. If you normally go to the grocery store every week and buy your groceries, continue to do that, because it looks like even the places that are in lockdown, you're still allowed to go and get food. And, worst comes to worse, have it delivered. But there's no reason to be out there panic buying everything. Just none. And it's not doing the economy any good. It's not doing your fellow neighbor any good. So everybody, please just, quit being selfish, be kind to everybody. And I will see you next time. Thank you, everybody, for coming. And if you have not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. Please hit the thumbs up on your way out or on your way in. And feel free to leave a comment, ask me any questions, give me any ideas for subjects, whatever you'd like to do. That's within the guidelines. And I will catch you all next time. So have a good evening. Be kind, everybody. Take care, and God bless.